Hey, how's it going? To give you a show you a quick PowerPoint about how to write a research paper in case anyone is having issues with that. So these are the learning objectives. This is the thinker by Rodin. So your first step is you're going to want to think. You want to think about your topic, what you are interested in, what you want to write about, what you can form an argument around. Academic writing is written for scholars by scholars, which includes you. As a college student, you're part of a community of scholars, and your writing will center on topics that are in the interest of the academic community, and you'll provide your audience with an informed argument, what's known about your topic, and then what you think about it. You want to make sure before you do any assignment that you review the assignment thoroughly. Make sure that you understand it. When is it due? How long does it have to be? How many sources are needed? What format is required? You also need to manage your time. Make sure that you have time to dedicate to writing, researching, and revising your paper. This can take weeks sometimes. Avoid procrastination by starting when the assignment is given. Keep your workplace in order and clear from distractions. This painting is The Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dali. When you get started, you'll want to pick a topic of interest to you, decide what you know and what you don't know. Determine if your topic is too narrow, there's not going to be any research available. Excuse me, or if it's too broad, there's too much research. Ask yourself questions about the topic to try and visualize a new perspective. To narrow your topic, you can think about the topic of heart disease. It's very broad. Then you can add to that who gets heart disease, older men. Then you have heart disease plus older men or in the elderly. And this can result in a more manageable topic. A Google search of cardiovascular disease among older men still results in 519 million results. You can narrow this further by using job, ethnicity, or type of heart disease. Think of how a funnel starts wide and becomes narrow. That's what you may need to do with your topic. In another sense, you can use cancer, 9/11, cancer and 9/11 responders, alcohol, teens, alcoholism in teens, sadness. This is a large topic. Babies, and this won't be sad babies, but postpartum depression. So that narrows your topic. Weight, social media, the effect of social media on body image. So those are examples about how to narrow a topic. Hopefully that's clear now. How about finding credible information? Utilize your library. There's books and journals there, and then online databases like Galileo. Your librarians are an invaluable research, and even if the library is closed due to the pandemic, they are available to help you. Use keyword searches and search the web carefully. The most reliable sites are going to end in .gov, .edu, and .org. You can use Google Scholar. Just know that a lot of their results you may not be able to access because they may be behind a paywall. Next, once you've done your research, you'll want to nutshell your information. This is the process of explaining the main components of your research in a few sentences or in a nutshell. Once you're able to do this, you can start to form an outline. Once you have an outline, you can begin the writing process. You'll want to answer These questions: what is the issue you're writing about? Who is affected? Where does this occur? When does it occur? Why does it occur? And how serious is it? If you have writer's block, try free writing. Try talking about your ideas with someone. Carry a notebook with you or record ideas on your phone. I get a lot of ideas walking to the bus stop or to the train. Take a walk. Sometimes a change of scenery and a distraction can spur creativity. Or move on to a part of the project that you're really interested in. Sometimes the introduction or the works cited page is a little tough to put together and not very interesting. Trying something else can help. Free writing is just a method of writing freely. Whatever comes to mind. If you don't know what to write, I don't know what to write. You don't worry about grammar, spelling, or punctuation, and just write as much as you can. Sometimes that gets creativity flowing. Creation is an interesting function. Often people cannot simultaneously create and edit. So in your first draft, just worry about writing and getting your ideas down. You can come back later and revise them. So a little bit on how to compose a paragraph. Use strong verbs and modifiers. You could write, I sat in a chair with my dog. Or you could write, I cuddled with my most trusted companion, my dog, in a luxurious recliner. It's much more descriptive. Now let's write. You must indent the first line of your paragraph and double space your paper. Thesis statement may be the most important part of your paper. It's a map for your paper. It tells the reader where the paper is going, and it can keep the writer on track. A vague or poorly constructed thesis statement will cause the writer and the reader to get lost. How can you take a trip if you don't know where you're going? Your thesis statement should be somewhere in the introductory paragraph. Often it's the last sentence of the paragraph, and often a thesis statement is only one sentence. It should contain two elements: what and why. What is the claim you're making, and why should your reader care? The introductory sentence is sometimes called a hook because its job is to hook your reader and keep them reading. For some, reading fiction can be boring or thought to be a waste of time. This sentence could be considered a hook because people who love to read, like your English teachers, will consider it to be controversial. Sometimes a hook needs to be controversial to keep a reader's attention. And your paragraph could continue in this manner. For some, reading fiction can be boring or thought to be a waste of time. However, a great first sentence can catch the reader's interest and compel even those who do not normally enjoy a book to keep reading. One novel that demands attention from its start is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. The novel's opening line is intriguing, exciting, a little bit unusual, and keeps the reader wanting to read. Many years later, as he faced the firing squad, Colonel Aureliano Buendía was to remember that distant afternoon when his father took him to discover ice. The opening of this novel begs for the reader's attention by mentioning a firing squad. These are supporting sentences. Such an unusual event naturally piques one's curiosity and causes the reader to continue reading. The reader wonders why the colonel is facing a firing squad, wonders where the novel is set, and wonders what ice has to do with anything. How would you form supporting sentences inspired by the opening sentence of 100 Years of Solitude? In conclusion, you need a conclusion to your paragraph. A concluding sentence can summarize your evidence and prove your point. For example, the first sentence of Gabriel Garcia Marquez's 100 Years of Solitude is a great opening sentence because it is constructed in a manner that encourages a reader to keep reading. So that would be an successful end to this paragraph. Notice this sentence states the main idea of the paragraph and creates room to keep writing. One could, for example, write about specific ways that Marquez's sentence is constructed to engage the reader. Often, as in this case, the concluding sentence is also the thesis sentence. Just like paragraphs, papers are made of an introduction, supporting evidence, and a conclusion. So if you can write a paragraph, you can write a paper. Use the same strategies involved. A conclusion is the last paragraph in your paper. Just like a paragraph has a concluding sentence, a paper will have a concluding paragraph. It's like the final chord in a song. It makes the listener feel that the piece is completed and well done. The same is true for the audience. You want them to feel that you supported what you stated in your thesis. You then become a reliable author for them, and they're impressed by that and will be more likely to read your work in the future. They may have also learned something and had their opinion changed. To write a basic conclusion, briefly restate the topic and explain why it's important. You can also repeat or rephrase the thesis statement. Briefly summarize your main points, make a call to action if appropriate, and answer the question, so what? Here's an example. The problem of teen gang violence can be eliminated. That's your introductory sentence. It will, however, take time, money, and a combined effort on the part of many people. That's a restatement of the thesis statement. Organized free after-school programs such as sports teams and games, art, music, and drama activities, internships in local area businesses and professional organizations, and interesting volunteer activities in the community would help engage teens in worthwhile pursuits outside of school hours. More job opportunities for teens, especially those funded by state and local programs, would offer income for teens as well as productive work for the community. Outreach to families through schools, community organizations, and places of worship would help promote intergenerational activities that could improve family closeness, helping teens to work on their problems at the family level instead of taking them to the streets. These are your supporting sentences within your concluding paragraph that summarize the information that has come before. And then we end with, if these programs can be implemented, we will surely see a decrease in teen gang activity and safer streets and neighborhoods for us all. So that is a call to action or the answer to the question, so what? Don't forget to document your sources. Include a parenthetical citation when you refer to, summarize, paraphrase, or quote from another source. For every in-text citation in your paper, there must be a corresponding entry in your works cited list. MLA parenthetical citation style uses the author's last name and a page number. For instance, field 122 inside of parentheses. See, no comma, no P for page number, just the author's last name and the actual number itself. These are some examples of quotes in a paper. According to Joseph Campbell, the first stage of the mythological journey, the call to adventure, signifies that destiny has summoned the hero. And then the number 58 in parentheses, the sample of a matching works cited entry would be underneath in blue. Campbell Joseph, The Hero with 1,000 Faces, Princeton University Press, 1973. There's another sample of a quote in which we have the author's last name and the page number, and then the sample works cited entry follows that. Give yourself plenty of time to revise your paper before handing it in. Read your work out loud. Errors that not apparent when one reads silently become apparent when one reads aloud. Take a break and come back to your work later. A fresh perspective will help one consider or discover errors and will provide new ideas. Have other people read your paper and use the Student Success Center. Final thoughts. Turn in your paper with a smile. You're done. Show off your work. Have fun. Be proud. Thanks for your time.